All right, welcome to Jack Dodson's Racing Insider News. We already got one live viewer there, Jack.
I mean, that's fast too. Yeah.
I know. I don't even see it online yet. Let's see. No. Anyway,
Didn't come up yet.
all right. Let's see. Let's thank our marketing partners. I got my new thing, gimbal. I think you call this thing is actually. Check this thing out. Me and Jack are upping our game up.
Yeah.
Let's thank our marketing partners. No Papa John's tonight, but Papa John's provides pizza for us and our guest every week. Adam Wildbart. Why did you just get on the link? Loyal #1 fan right here. How much did you pay him, Jack?
I didn't pay him nothing. He and I already talked. You know, we've spoken about going to Charlotte without you.
It won't be nearly as fun without me, Jack. You won't have nobody to. The car won't drive for you. There will be no good laughs. Is he gonna go to Wilkesboro with us the week before?
Well, if he wants to go, but you know he's got a job.
Yeah. Well, I got one too, but my boss can be a dick. But
yeah. Well, all right, go ahead with your things there. We got to stop.
All right. Got to thank GAC, Great American Company, Slinger Speed Company. We're going to get that wrapped up next week sometime. Got Tim Brown from Slinger Speed Company, Bonders Brothers Distillery, MPM Marketing. I know we got a suit coming or not quite coming, but I think we're pretty much done with the design and stuff for Chris Bechtel.
Did you get the message from her?
With the design of the suit?
Yeah. Did you get all that?
Yeah. Vivian's been sick and I've had a couple people out at the office, so I don't know if she's I haven't talked to her to see what she thought yet. I think Langley Speedway, man. Langley Speedway for making Langley our home. I know we're not there tonight. We're doing remote because of the weather, but can't say enough about Langley Speedway and Bill and Chuck and Terry and them. I see they're looking for a bookkeeper.
Yeah.
So if you're an accountant or a bookkeeper, they're looking. Pepsi and Mountain Dew, Jack. Mine and Jack's drink of choice there. Oh, Mosquito Joe. Think those guys. Robert Rumble.
Rumble. You keep putting the D in.
I know as soon as it came out of my mouth, it was wrong. Get 50% off on your first month of service on the Hampton side all the way up through Richmond. Southampton Motor Speedway. Gator Graphics. Sammy Gator with Gator Graphics. Mean Dean Automotive.
Moyak.
with Greer and Associates. I think those guys have been with us for a couple of years here and good people. RDS Performance. I know they moved last week. Should have rode by there and seen them and see how they were doing. But Skinnell. I understand you've seen Skinnell this weekend.
I did see him this weekend, and he's all excited about his new shop and everything he's got going.
I think Fast Eddie's Barbecue. I had barbecue for like 4 days. The last time Eddie come by, we appreciate Eddie for bringing us barbecue.
Me too.
Really appreciate those. S&N Communication, they came on last year, and we appreciate those guys for coming on board this year, and they're going to be back for this year. So thank those guys. Airlock, man, I tell you, probably the longest running people with us is Factory Canopies, but Airlock is part of Factory Canopies, and Factory Canopies is donating some chairs. Hopefully we'll get those soon for Chris. But you can get a Factory Canopy with your logos and team name and car and all that bunch of stuff. They do some car covers. They do a lot of stuff. If you go to their website, fuel can covers. I mean, there's a lot that they do. Miles of Seamless Gutter. Really, man, big shout out to the Miles of Seamless Gutter for supporting the local, having a contest and giving that kind of money away. I don't know if anybody else in any other, series or racetrack that's are giving away that kind of money for somebody that's participating at the racetrack.
That's a big deal for them to do that.
Yeah, no, 100%. So with that, Jack, did you learn any news while you were down there at Florence?
Not really. Learned a lot of news, but enjoyed the trip down. Had a wonderful time down there with Steve Zacharias. They even let Shayne Laws be the race director down there. He was calling the shots, and I didn't see but one instance where they wanted to hurt him. But that was funny. The guy come in there hollering. I don't know if that's what he was after or not, but anyway. But it was good to go down. I got to see told Connor Hall when I was down there with him. I said, yeah, right. But anyway, it was a pretty good deal. And let me tell you something. Florence Speedway has the best press box going right now. We got a good one at Langley, but I'm gonna tell you what, Florence got that one beat right now.
They ain't got no recliners.
No, let me tell you, them recliners were nice. It's nice to sit up there in the booth and just kick your feet up and look at the race. And they had drinks up there for you. You go get drinks when you want them, and that was, oh man, I was in heaven. So,
what's up, Donovan Brown? Are we gonna be ready to run this year?
Yeah. Hopefully we'll get Rick Pouse back. He'll have a big motor and he'll give y'all a fit.
A run for their money, right?
That's right. All right, I got some news, results for some races and stuff. Down at Florence this past weekend, in the limited late models, Keelan Harvick got the win. And I'm gonna tell you what, that dude drove away from the whole field. He was long gone. Models, Matt Cox got the win. Will be with us next week. In the trucks, Jody Meismer got the win. And in his stocks, Ricky Locklear got the win. The Cars Tour West had a race this past weekend, and Dylan Zampa got the win. And they got the World Series of Asphalt going on down at New Smyrna Speedway. And they've had some racing every night. I haven't been able to watch not one daggone night of it so far. But anyway, the first night, Carson Brown got a super late model win after they disqualified William Sawalich. Ricky Brooks.
Didn't they disqualify two of them?
Yeah, but the reason why he got the win because he was right behind Sawalich. And I was hearing from some people down there that Ricky Brooks has got it going on down there. He's running a tight ship as far as in the pro late the regular late models. Hunter Wright got the win. Day two, the tour modifieds were there. Day two, Patrick Emmerling got the win, and in the pro late model, Spencer Davis got the win. Day three, super late models. Corey Day got the win. And got the win. And on day four, they had the tour mods again. Austin Beers got late model, Max Reeves. And that was a pretty big deal. And then this weekend or this past Friday night was Hall of Fame night. Mm-hmm. So one of Virginia's own Ricky Rudd is now in the Hall of Fame, along with Carl Edwards and Ralph Moody. That was that's a pretty good stack of people right there. So anyway, that's about all we got going on. We got Daytona coming up starting tomorrow. We have
I know, man.
Practice at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning and qualifying at 8:30 tomorrow night. So I will not be far from the TV tomorrow night.
Now, what's your thoughts? I'd love to hear what everybody else's thoughts are about Denny Hamlin making a statement that Dale Earnhardt and Dale Jr. would not run that well in Daytona with the rules that they have.
I don't see why he can make that statement. You know, I mean, it may take them a little while to get used to it, but I think they will adapt to it. I think both of them could adapt to it.
I don't know that you could put them in a box and say you can't draft with this one or that one. I think they would ignore the rules and just do it because of who they are, and they would probably have a really good success from it. So then nobody could say anything about it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with it. I think it's. I don't know. I don't agree with his statement completely. I don't agree with that.
I don't either. Donovan Brown said, yes, sir. He's ready for this year. Looking forward to bringing it. He's bringing our secret weapon this year. So Donovan's been fast. So it'll be good to see, how the truck series was pretty good. I think, Chris got lucky there at the end. He peaked at the right time, but we got some trucks. Donovan's going to be fast next year. The old man, what's his name? He's putting a new body on.
Bill
Wallace. I mean, Bill was right there at it, So it'll be an interesting season with the trucks. Of course, we got to pull for Chris because Chris is our sponsorship winner and Miles, and I'm part of the Miles family over there. So, Stephen Taylor says it's race season now. Good luck, everyone, this year. Yeah, I think right. I'm so glad it is racing season. Gina says don't agree with anything, and he says I think that's most people. Hey, Gina, I was wondering if you were still around. I ain't seen Gina in I don't know how long.
It's been a long time. I hadn't even seen her. I mean, I've seen her on Facebook a couple times.
I was wondering if she was still alive.
Yeah, well, she evidently still is. There's my man Basil. He was somewhere I was at the other night, and he didn't even speak. So
I seen Basil. I talked to Basil for a little bit. But you know what? This is the first time I ain't gonna say he didn't say he won't gonna quit. He quits every year, but he comes back before race season starts.
Yeah, I guess that's his hiatus right there. A little bit of makes it look good.
But I love Basil. Basil's a trip. Adam says Denny also said that the Champ 4 race might become a Champ 5 race in the near future. I didn't hear that one.
I didn't either. I didn't hear that at all.
Brian
Carver says, hello, guys. Great day. He didn't say anything about being a great day at the racetrack, but anyway.
What's up, Brian? What's up, Zach Beavers? What's up? Donovan laughed. Yeah, we do. But yeah, I don't know about the whole Denny to 5. I didn't see that. I mean, I could see. I think there's been some arguments with the regular season champ gets a free pass to the end, but I don't know that I'm on board with that. Right?
Yeah.
To me, if you go back, if you use any of the other sports, you make the playoffs and you have to win or something from there to get to the final race. You don't. It's just not a free pass to. The Eagles didn't get a free pass to the Super Bowl, and neither did Kansas City.
They might as well have because they didn't play when they got there.
Man, I'm telling you, what a game, right? Yeah. I mean, I wasn't pulling for. I was pulling for the Eagles. But I thought it was going to be a much better game than that. I can't believe that they shut Kansas City down like they did. Would they only have like 2 first downs the whole game?
And they didn't have no yards hardly.
38? It was a 38 or 48 yards. Maybe they're at the end. Maybe the last quarter because they squeaked out a few. But I think
they didn't do good to start with, and it was quite evident that Travis Kelce had his mind on what was going on up in the booth because he won't catch no balls at all. So, but I was disappointed. I was watching it, and I was very disappointed because I thought the Chiefs were.
Are you a Swiftie, Jack?
I'm not a Swiftie. I'm not a Swiftie. Are you a Swiftie?
No, my daughter is, but no.
I'm not a Swiftie, and I'm not a Kelsey lover either. So
Well, but I think the Eagles had figured something out. They figured out how to read the defense, the offense of Kansas City. It's funny because I seen them interviewing somebody, Tom Brady, the other day, and he was talking about one year that they went in and he had studied, or no, I take that back. It was whoever was playing them had studied and figured out the tricks that Tom Brady done. Like if he did one thing and walked up, they were gonna hut the ball right away. But if he didn't do this one thing, he was gonna drop back. He was gonna say hut 2 or 3 times, and they sacked him 5 times that game, on and on. So I think the Eagles had figured out some trick or knew some little thing that they did and picked up on it and were able to read the offense really well so that they could capitalize on it, because they damn sure had them dead to rights the whole game.
well, evidently the Eagles had that same thing with Mahomes. Mahomes is a great quarterback, but it seemed like there for a while, if he put the ball in his hands, they were on top of him. I mean, it's
Yeah.
maybe
Well, that's what I mean. They knew what was happening before it happened, it seemed like.
And it was like they didn't just. There was an old saying: "What? How did y'all know he was the one was getting the ball every time?" And the guy said, "Because he's the one that come out of the huddle crying because we knew he was going to get it." So it's kind of looks what it looked like there. I mean, I sat here during one series of plays, and he got dumped 3 times in 3 plays. I mean, that's that I've never seen Mahomes do that.
No. Basil said, "Sorry, Jack." In defense, it was definitely a defensive game. I think it was a good game. I didn't want to see him go 3 times in a row, and sometimes you need to be brought back to reality. But I will say, man, the positivity that Mahomes had even after the game, will be back, and they will. I mean, they're a great team, right? I mean, they're going to be hard to try to keep out of the Super Bowl for at least for the next couple of years until something sort of changes. But his positivity is like, hey, can't win them all.
Oh, that's true. And they sure didn't get close to winning that one. I mean, when you're down 40-6, man, geez, but the game's over almost.
I know. I mean, it's unbelievable. Gina said she saw me at Martinsville over at Showman's food tent. Remember? I don't remember, Gina.
It didn't happen yesterday, so he ain't going to remember it.
That's right. That's right. That was past 5 minutes ago.
All right, well, I sent Bert a message. Hopefully he'll come on here. We're waiting on Burt Myers, the man from Bowman Gray. Hopefully he'll didn't get busy and forgot to call or whatever. Hopefully that didn't happen. But hope you get him on here. Hey, next week, you remember Hunter Thomas, Scott?
Yeah.
He's going to be on our show next week. I got a hold of him finally and going to have him on the show.
Was he playing? What do you think, he was playing hide and seek or something, or what?
I don't know. But you know what? The funny thing is, I was all over that infield down there at Florence this weekend.
Oh, was he down there?
And I never saw him. I went up in the booth and was watching the race, and then I saw him walk by down on pit road. So I didn't see him. But anyway, he'll be with us next week. That'll be cool.
Yeah, that will be cool.
And of course, the winner of the icebreaker is going to be with us next week, Matt Cox. So that'll be cool to have too. Well, he's scheduled to be with us. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, he might pull a Burt Myers.
Well, I don't know what to say on that. But anyway, so
I know. How do we think? I mean, Gina just brought up something. Well, she's like, "Did you see Rooster at Junior Motorsports Cup team family names?" I know she's got a family member that works over there. I thought he was at Hendricks, but I mean, it's a big deal to have Dale Jr. or a team with Dale Jr. possibly be in the Daytona 500.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Justin will get the car in the field, and that'll be good for the sport. We already know Elio's in the field regardless, so he'll, that's a big deal.
Yeah,
Uh,
I get what NASCAR wants. I don't agree with it. And I think this is getting a sour taste in my mouth. Look, we got Bert here.
there he is.
What's up, Bert? How you doing, man?
My schedule changed a little bit. We were out and about, so I'm having to do it from the passenger seat of my wife's car, if that's okay.
That's
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 fine.
not a problem, man. What was it? You had a big couple weeks the last few weeks, and I know it had to be great to be able to be in that cup car down at Bowman Gray.
Yeah, awesome. Being able to run a cup and just doing it at home track, man, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it had to be wonderful to do that. Now, tell us a little bit about what all took place in the modified race there.
Well, you can see it was pretty wild. We knew it would be exciting. Anytime when you go to Bowman Gray and you have a full field redraw, and then with the atmosphere they created with the Cup Series being there with all the NASCAR folks there, we knew that was going to be at a heightened level. So, got a decent draw about mid-pack. My son got turned around. I got pinned in, had to start in the back again. So to get back to second wasn't a bad night, but we always go to win. So it's one of those where I was happy, but I wasn't satisfied.
Well, I've been watching since I talked to you, and we had Tim on a couple weeks ago. And thank God Scott didn't call you Tim when you came on, because he did that the week before when he called Tim and called him Bert. And that didn't go over very well, Bert.
I'm sure. I don't know why. I don't know why Tim has such a severe dislike for me, but I don't think he likes me very much.
Well, from everything I have been seeing, I've been going back through the stuff on YouTube, back to the old Madhouse days. You and him have had a lot of going back and forth and had a lot of arguments.
You'll have that. Whenever you grew up racing at Bowman Gray like we did, or like we have, and man, it makes it tough. I mean, a lot of people know me and Tim used to be best friends back in the day, and whenever we became friends, he was already competitive in a modified series, and I was just getting started. So by the time I started getting competitive, that put a little bit of a damper on our friendship. And then just over the years, man, it just racing against each other week in and week out, it makes it tough to remain too good of friends just because we're both so competitive.
Yeah.
How was it for you to get to start this in the Cup car at Bowman Gray? But he also got in the Cup car. I mean, that brought a lot of attention because the two of you guys were there.
Well, it was pretty cool. I mean, I'm glad we both got the opportunity because of our history there together, and with the record that me and him both have over there. It was pretty cool for us to, for the story to say that, we, for the last 25 years, we battled on Saturday nights at Bowman Gray. To be able to come battle in the Cup car over that week, made a really cool story.
Yeah, it did. It was a highlight to the whole thing, and I thought it was great. The Myers name at Bowman Gray, the years. I mean, it's a long lineage through there. What's it like to have that kind of family? That's been with Bowman Gray for all these years and been right there. And I know it's been great for you.
Well, I mean, it's cool to know that the heritage and the family history that we have, in not just at Bowman Gray, but in NASCAR racing in general. To know that my family was involved at the very, very beginning, when NASCAR racing as we know it, for them to be a part of it then, and for my dad to continue it, and then obviously my dad's first cousin Chocolate was involved with RCR and still a big part of racing, and we've got other family members that are involved, and me and my brother race now my son's racing, fourth generation. I think it's just a testament to the dedication and how can I say? I guess the family devotion that we've given to racing. It's a passion for us. It's something that we love to do. So we're being fortunate enough to keep that tradition going.
What's it like to have Slade out there racing now? I mean, we had him on the show a few weeks ago, and I mean that has to be a big deal for you to have him out there racing.
Well, like I said, I think it just falls in part with your last question about how it just makes us proud to see it continuing the way it is. And I mean, any dad wants to be able to be involved with his son in whatever sport it might be. So for it to be the sport that we grew up loving, and to see how great Slate's adapting to it, and we threw him in head first. I've always said that, it's like when you teach a baby to swim, you don't say anything, you just throw him in the water, and that's kind of what we did with Slate. We just threw him in head first last year in that modified series at the stadium, and obviously he wasn't thrilled about his results, but to me that's a positive, because if he was excited about when you don't win and you're okay with it, you might as well get out. So but in all, it is really cool to be able to compete with Slade and to race with Slade, and to have him continue what not me, but what my family has started.
Tell us a little bit about you and your brother. How much is it when you and your brother are racing? How much is the rivalry between the two of you?
I wouldn't say there's much of a rivalry. It's just like any other sport. Whenever growing up, if we were playing basketball or going on Sunday after church to golf, if it's me and my brother on a team, we do everything we can to beat that other team. But if he's on that other team, I do everything I can to beat him. And there's just something about that brotherly rivalry that if you can't win, you want your brother to. But on the same side, you want to beat him worse than you want to beat everybody else. So when we both raced against our dad, there was that sense there. And then me and Jason racing together, and even with me and Slate, Slate, I dare say Slate probably wants to beat me more than he wants to beat anybody else.
Well, he's already said that. He told us that last time we talked.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
So we even asked him the question, you get close to the end of the race, would you kind of move your dad out of the way to go get a win? He said in a heartbeat.
Yeah. He better try anyway.
That's right. So it's really cool that the legacy that the Myers have and the legacy Bowman Gray has. When the Cup, how much did it boost the morale of all the people in the area for Bowman Gray?
Oh man, did you see the place?
Oh yeah,
it was unbelievable. Just what NASCAR was able to do. I've said before that, like, the nostalgic side of things, it kind of made me a little bit sad because we grew up with that environment the way it was for years. But to see what they did and transform that place into one of the top, it has to be one of the top short tracks in the country, if not the top. And there are some facilities that I've been to over the years that were great facilities, but they didn't put on the show and pack the people in the way that Bowman Gray does. So to have all of that come together with a perfect scenario, by bringing the Cup race there, by having the modifieds there that weekend, and embracing the fact that the modifieds were the first division of NASCAR, man, I don't know that they could have done much better than they did.
Now, how is your feeling on the fact? I mean, a lot of people have been talking since that race. A lot of people have said, how long do we bring it back to Bowman Gray? What is your feeling on that? Do you think it should bring the class back to Bowman Gray and do what they've been doing? How do you feel about it?
Is the next 100 years, is that too many? If they don't, they're missing out. I don't think you could get. I think that now this is outside noise. I've heard from a lot of fans who follow weekly racing at Bowman Gray say that that's the first Cup race they've actually sat down and watched the entire race and were entertained the whole race. I think that says it all. That says it all.
I think it does. It really does. But it was really great to see you in the race and being a part of it, because I mean, I don't think they can have a race at Bowman Gray and not have Burt Myers in the race.
Well, I was glad to be a part of it. I enjoyed it.
Well, Burt, we appreciate it. I know you're busy, got things going on, riding down the road, but thank you for spending some time with us, and we'll get you back on here and we'll talk again real soon.
Okay, sorry about the confusion on my end, and
no
like
problem.
I said, we went out. We've been with the weather, and it just I knew I was scheduled to be on, and when I finally got back to my phone, and like I said, sorry we had to do it in the car, but I'm glad I got to talk to you guys, and I'll be glad to come on anytime.
Burt, well, we'll talk to you again real soon, and good luck this year.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
See ya.
Well, at least he made it, Jack.
Yeah, hey, I'm happy, man. I'm ecstatic because we've been waiting for a while to get him on the show, so that was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, to have a race at Bowman Gray and to not have a Myers in it would have been kind of crazy in some ways.
Yeah. I'm still a big Jason Myers fan too, so I'll just let you know that.
Well, I started to mention that, but it'll be interesting. I would imagine they're going to go back there next year. I just can't imagine that they're not. They may tweak it a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised that we see Tim and Burt, back there again.
Now, how would you tweak it at what they went through this year? How would you tweak it?
Well, I mean, certainly the last chance race was pretty entertaining. The main race wasn't as entertaining as I thought it would have been. I mean, seemed to be pretty good racing, especially at the end. I was surprised that the outside groove was got to be sort of the primary, I think the only reason they ran the bottom was to protect the bottom, because I think, especially if you started watching like Denny and those guys were really arcing or diamond in the corner or really arcing it and hanging out there. And I think, wasn't it Denny that passed a few on the outside?
Yeah.
So I was really surprised that came about,
Nobody that I've talked to, and I've talked to a few that were there, nobody ever expected that outside line to come in like it did. And,
no.
They said it made good racing, and I just don't know how you can tweak I mean, you may tweak that, like you said, a little stuff there, but I think they got to come back there again and do it again. And
for sure, and that itself is going. They'll have some notes, right? They know some setup stuff, and they'll make it better for next time.
Well, they were comparing it between the LA Coliseum and Bowman Gray, and I'm sorry, the racing at Bowman Gray far exceeded the Coliseum racing. I'm sorry, I like it that way.
I think we're kind of biased, right? We'd rather see it at Bowman Gray than the Coliseum. And I don't know if they totally wanted us in LA.
Well, it just didn't feel like racing down there,
Yeah.
And I mean, it was racing for them and everything, but being all the way out on the West Coast and inside a stadium that I did not see a big crowd maybe the first year they had a pretty decent crowd, but after that they didn't have the crowd like they had this past year at Bowman Gray. And a lot of people have said, well, they don't hold but 17,000 people. I bet you there was more than 17,000 people in Bowman Gray.
It was full. I mean, I've heard numbers all over the place of how much the place holds, but 13, that's still a lot of people, especially a small place like that. I don't know what the Coliseum holds. And I don't even know if that place was full. Yeah. Probably about the same
Coliseum holds over 200,000 people.
No, does it really?
That's the LA Coliseum. Yes, the LA Coliseum holds huge amount of folks because that's where they played Super Bowls there. They played all the UCLA games were played there. A lot of bowl games have been played there, and it was jam packed, and it was right at 200,000 people. So
Yeah.
can't
And I
say they
don't
saw
think,
200,000 people in there.
yeah. And I don't think it was, it's not nearly as much work either, right? Bowman Gray, they can just go there and run. You know, they did put the safer barriers in, but I mean, you got to think the LA Coliseum, they had to, you know, it was a month of work. God knows how much that cost to put all that stuff down, put asphalt down on top of the football field, and then take it back up so that they can use it in a few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, there was a whole lot more work to it than what it looked like. I mean, there was a whole bunch of it. All right, we were supposed to have Shane Laws on right now, but Shane is going to be with us next week since we're doing it remotely. He said I told him, I said, we could get you, we'd rather have you in person, so he'll be with us next week.
Well, that way he doesn't have to wear them big old goofy
dead air time here.
Yeah, well, that way Shane don't have to use them big old goofy glasses he's got.
Yeah, but I didn't see him have them on down at Florence, so he evidently, his eyes have gotten better.
I wonder what everybody else thought. Who's looking forward to Daytona, man? I can't wait to get this season going, right? And get back to racing. It's so funny how we all complain, and I have too, at the end of the season. Man, you're kind of wore out, tired of racing, and you got to work on the race car over in the off season, and then the off season happens, and a couple of weeks after, you're like, man, I wouldn't mind go back to the racetrack, you know.
Well, I think I was good with it for the first week, and after that, I was ready to go back to see some racing. I mean, that's just the way it is. I guess I got it in my blood. I don't know. I guess that's the way it is.
Right.
I even like hanging out with you when we go to a race. I mean, that just shows how I'm into the race thing.
Well, it'll be interesting what Adam has to say when he comes back with you from Charlotte, because I got a wedding to go to, and I won't be in Charlotte.
Yeah, well, hey, you know how Adam will be in good hands. At least he won't be riding no Tesla down to Charlotte. Okay, that's ain't happening. So anyway, that'd be good. So let's while we got a couple minutes here to wait on LANIE to call in or check in. Who's your pick to win the Cup this year?
Man, you mean the championship? Is that what you're trying to?
Yeah, who's your pick? Give me a way out pick for the championship right now before the season starts.
Man, that's a tough one. I mean, I think it's going to be hard to bet against Tyler Reddick. I think he's the next, guy that's got great natural talent. I think he's the next closest talent to Kyle Larson right now.
Yeah.
I just don't know that you could bet against him. I mean, I personally hated that he left Richard Childress because I thought him there was sort of bringing Childress and them back to their heyday, or they could get there, I'm a big Richard Childress fan from the Dale Senior days. And Kyle going there, which I think is a good fit, but I think these new cars have really given Kyle a tough time, and he hasn't figured it out, and it might be just I don't want to say an age thing, but they're not fast either, so it's kind of tough, I keep hoping that those guys will turn things around, but I just don't know. I keep saying that, but
I think that last couple, I think it's going to be a Ford driver again this year because they seem to put it on. They seem to come on strong. I think it's going to be a Ford driver. So when I say a Ford driver, I got like at least 6 or 7 people that it can be, but I think Keselowski is going to be strong this year. He's he's in his 3rd year of owning the team, and
they're definitely on an uptick, right? And I tell you, another one is Inspire Motorsports. Those guys have been on this gradual sort of uptick, and they haven't really fell off. And I know Corey's not there. And I hate it for Corey because I think this year is going to be a really good year for them. I mean, you got Rodney Childers. I mean, they're putting some really good people over there, and there's a lot of positive. Our buddy Rajay's over in the trucks. The trucks, they're running really well. I think those are going to be or the guys over there at Spire is going to be sort of the breakout team, I believe.
And I think the Toyotas are a little bit behind right now. And I think the situation with the Toyotas not as strong. I think they're strong at some places and way back in some of the others. They don't have the horsepower on the super speedways and qualifying and stuff like that, but they do such a good job in the race at times. But I don't think the Toyotas are going to be, and you got a whole new contingent of people in the Toyotas this year.
Yeah. I mean, they're still there, right? I mean, they still won a bunch of races. They, I guess only one went in for the championship. I think they're at the end. They kind of, lack of a better term, they peaked too early, and some other guys sort of peaked. I mean, we had some, and people can complain about it all they want on the last few races there to get in, but that's what the rules are, and it was the same for everybody,
I think Young Money is due another cup here soon.
It's Han money.
Yeah. I hope Hendrick can get back to, in a way to get back to, I mean, Kyle won some races last year. I think, Chase won 1 or 2 races last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they need to step their game more. I think it's time for them to do that.
Well, I think they found something in the beginning of the year or through the summer. They were pretty fast. But I think, people caught up to them through the playoffs or just before the playoffs, and they just didn't, they sort of peaked too early and didn't have anything where I think some teams, I know it used to be that, they had some new tricks up their sleeve, and they held those until if they knew they were going to the playoffs, they held those new ideas until they got into the playoffs because they didn't want one to get it out and people to realize how fast they were going to be, so that would help them carry them through hopefully to the playoffs or to the Final Four.
Yeah, I think we'll see. It's going to be pretty interesting. All right, give me your pick for the Daytona 500.
Man, I think you got to say Ford, Chevy, or I don't know if you can say a person. Honestly, when you go to Daytona, it's hard to bet against Denny, to be honest. Denny has a really good track record besides the Earnhardts at Daytona.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know what it is, but he just seems to have that, have something there.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think it's going to be there, but I'm still thinking we're going to see probably. I'm going to go with Ryan Blaney. I think Ryan Blaney is going to be the guy.
But he's another one. Mike Rudy says Chase Elliott. I think, man, you just don't never know what manufacturer is going to when they start having those green flag pit stops. It sort of separates one of the manufacturers from the other. I would really hope, and I know there was a little talk there at the end of the season of another manufacturer coming in. We really need a 4th manufacturer coming in.
Yeah, I think we're going to have one within the next couple of years. I think they're working on it hard to have that happen.
Yeah, there was some talk about that in Phoenix when I was there in the media center. They didn't really, elaborate on who it was, but they were talking to somebody or a couple of people, and I think they're being a little picky who they want to let in. But they were also said this was a couple of years away before it could be approved. Great port, Greer, come up Butterbean to win the ARCA race, and And I tell you, Butterbean has really made, I mean, since he won that Cars Tour a couple years ago, right? He has made the best of his opportunities of anybody lately, right? Or not lately, but you know, coming from Langley Speedway. And that's not taking anything away from Connor Hall. Connor is definitely is done it as well, right?
Yeah.
But Butterbean has got an opportunity there in the 28 car. That car was fast last year. I think they won what 5 races last year, or
Yep.
five or 7 races. So he has a great opportunity there. It's fairly fast in the test. Test doesn't really mean a whole lot. You don't know if they got their good equipment or they're just kind of logging laps and getting. But he'll have a pretty cool teammate there, right?
Yeah. Hey, you need to send LANIE BUICE the link. She said the link isn't working.
Where's she saying that at?
She sent it to my Facebook.
Um,
Well, yeah. See what happens when I do it?
Did she send it to? I'm gonna just send it to you.
Okay.
On Messenger, and then you can. Oh shit! Send it to somebody else. Shit.
I got something from you. Is that the one I'm supposed to send?
Yeah. I sent it to somebody else.
Boy, aren't we something?
Yeah. Let's see. I'll get back to. There we go. Oh, speaking of Big Motor Pals, he's there. What's up, Rick?
Hey, Rick Poust. What's going on, my man, Rick Poust? My hero from overseas. Good to see him watching the show for us. To get back from over there.
Adam says, "Who do we think going to make it in the race and out of the Daytona race?" That's a great question.
Who do you think's going to make 500? Corey LaJoy will. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's get LANIE on here. How you doing there?
On the open.
Hi.
I'll talk to Rick. Hello, LANIE. How you doing?
Hi, I'm great. How are y'all?
We're good. We're good. Had a great race down at the Florence this past weekend. It was a pretty good race.
Yes, sir. I definitely did have a great weekend this past weekend with the Pulliam performance team down at the Florence icebreaker, and I finished third. It was a great weekend. I'm super thankful for their support this past weekend. Had a great team behind me, and I'm super thankful.
It was a pretty impressive performance down there for being at Florence. I know you've raced at Florence a few times before, so that had to be a big help to you.
Yes, sir, absolutely. I have quite experience down there. I ran a full season back in 2023, and that definitely helped me to be able to know the track pretty well. But thankfully, I was also in a good car. So, the Lead Pulling Performance team, once again, they just did an incredible job, and I can't thank them enough. Along with Folsom Fence Supplies, they have given me the opportunity, and they're sponsoring me and following me along in the footsteps. So thankful that they're giving me the opportunity to run with Lee and everybody that's supporting me in that way.
You know, it has to be a deal for you to be in the Lee Pulliam stable of drivers and stuff, because he has a history. There's no doubt about it, and he is probably one of the better owners in late model, and he knows what he's after and everything there. So that has to be a great thing for you.
Absolutely. And also taking on the number 03 this year, that's a huge deal. It's an opportunity that not a lot of people get. So getting to follow in the footsteps of Brendan and what he's done for Lee and what Lee's done for him as well. They were a great team. And so now Lee being my crew chief, I'm getting the same opportunity that Brendan has gotten the past 2 years. So it's pretty neat to get to follow in those footsteps. Sometimes it's a lot of people ask me if it's pressure and if I feel like I have to kind of be like Brendan, but I feel like I don't really take it that way. I just take it as an opportunity to shine and to do what I have been taught how to do the past few years. So been given the opportunity to be in such a good car. I don't see it as pressure. I don't see it as having to perform. I see it as getting to perform.
You know, Jack, I never
How
thought
how
I never thought I would hear those words of people say they'd follow in Brendan's footsteps. We say that because we love Brendan and he's
you don't know
one of
you
our
don't know
hometown
Brendan like
guys.
we do.
I've heard quite some
They don't know
stories
Brendan
about
like we do.
I have gotten the opportunity to
Well,
become pretty close.
yeah, there's a
So
lot of stories.
yeah, that's what I've heard. So it's
So look
pretty neat.
how is it? How do you and Doug Barnes get along good? Are y'all getting along good as teammates?
Absolutely. And I feel like that's super important, being teammates, to get along as best as you possibly can. But he's a great person and a great driver. I definitely look up to him a little bit in the racing side of it because he has had so much experience and he's been given lots of opportunities to be in a race car for the past couple of years. So it's cool that I still have someone to look up to that races. And last year when I ran with Lee Pulliam in the 400 and the Thanksgiving Classic, I got to be teammates with Brendan, and I learned a ton from them, even though neither of the races went the way that I wanted them to, and I didn't get the opportunity to shine and show people what I can do the way that I had hoped. I definitely still learned from him, and I'm still leaning on him. So am actually gonna text him in a few weeks when it gets a little bit closer to New River and try to get some advice from him because I know he had a strong run there last year. Obviously he could have won that race, and he's one of the best. So it's cool that I get to lean on someone like him.
Now, Doug Barnes has a crew chief over there. I don't know if you have. Do you know him very well?
I know him a little
Doug's
bit.
crew
I know
chief.
it's David
All right.
Adams.
Don't listen. Yeah, don't listen to him too much. You know, he's kind of a crazy guy. I'm teasing. He's a good guy. Don't. But he's a good friend.
Yes, sir.
So schedule's going to work for you now. You're still part of the Rev Racing program and Lee Pulliam. So how's this going to work for you?
Yes, sir. So, towards the end of the year, we went to Rev. So I've known for a while what my schedule was going to look like. Obviously, I wasn't allowed to talk about it on the Rev side of things, but I just announced last week. So I'll be running a part-time ARCA Menard schedule along with some races in the Advanced Auto Parts Weekly series, and which I am super thankful for. The opportunity that I'm given to run some ARCA races this year is huge for me and my career, and I feel like it's going to give me those extra steps. But we had been in discussion for a while with Rev and with NASCAR about running with Lee, and they actually were very supportive about it. And they kind of saw it as an opportunity for me to learn and develop in something else. So just getting that extra opportunities and this extra development, and everyone knows Lee is one of the best of the best. And so getting to learn from someone that has such good experience and was also in a race car himself and also performed himself, people see it as just a great opportunity for me. So thankfully Rev was super excited about it, and I'll be running the full Cars Tour schedule, and they're okay with it. They're going to work around it, and actually thankfully all of the ARCA races, nothing really combines or gets in the way. So and it ended up working out perfectly for me. And so yeah, so I'm super thankful that they're working with me on that and that they're supportive of it.
Will you be running the Virginia Triple Crown this year? And who you going?
Yes, sir. So, right now I'm trying to come up with the funding for it. We just came up with the funding for the Cars Tour, so I'm super fortunate that I have the people that are backing me for that. But we're trying to come up with the rest of the money to run the Triple Crown. But that is my goal, and I'd love to run it. I think it's also a great series, and obviously, I'd love to go for that championship as well.
Yeah, I mean, that would be cool too. That would really be cool. So tell
Yes,
us
sir.
a little bit about how you got started in racing.
Yes, sir. So I actually started racing when I was 10 years old in go-karts. None of my family had ever raced before, so it was something that I was just coincidentally interested in. I had ATVs when I was younger, and my dad actually built me a little track out of mulch. So he owns a tree removal business, and so we got mulch all the time, and he built me a track that I could race around. And I'd ask him to time me, and I'd always try to do better, which is something that is like crazy because at that time I wasn't even interested in racing. And so that kind of kickstarted it a little bit. And then I actually went with my dad one day to bid tree work. And I saw a sign that said go kart racing out my window. And I immediately was interested. And I am very relentless. So I begged him to take me in there. And we finally did. And it jump started from there. Then from there, I ran go karts for about 2.5, 3 years, and then I jumped into a legend car for about two years, and then jumped into late models. So I'm 18. I just turned 18, so I've been racing for about 8 years now. And then yeah, so it's very cool to talk about. I like to tell people my story because it's unique, and I feel like a lot of people don't realize I don't come from a racing family. So I just moved up to North Carolina to chase my dream, and here I am.
Uh, and we hope you get much success this year when you're around. I mean, you look really good down there at Florence. So hope everything goes good for you all year long.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
All right, Laney, thank you very much for being with us tonight. We're going to let you go and go do whatever you do, and we'll see you again. Hopefully, we'll see you real soon.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'll see you guys down in the car store comes to Langley for sure. So I'll see you guys there.
Oh, okay, we'll talk to you later. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on the show.
No problem. Thank you.
I mean, what an opportunity,
Yeah,
right? Do what?
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what an opportunity to work with Lee, right? I mean, not only do they have,
Yeah.
fast cars, but also, Lee's a wealth of knowledge, right? I mean, it's not like, some teams that you could possibly go to and not, and, a crew chief is telling, well, you need to do this. Well, Lee has been a successful driver, right? And team owner. So he could tell you, when he tells you it carries weight, right? He's like, hey, you need to back the corners off or, bring it down a little bit, arc the corner or whatever those things. I mean, not only do you get fast race cars, you also get a great driving coach, right?
That's right. Yeah, and he's got first rate equipment. You don't have to worry about that. And he's got the Toyota backing now. So I mean, everything's going good for that.
Well, and it's not only, just to drive. When we say driver coach and having fast cars, but Lee's not just been a guy that's run well at one racetrack. I mean, he's won at all of these racetracks, right? I mean, so you're not going to go somewhere where he doesn't know. He knows because he's been there. He's raced there.
All right.
And go ahead.
See, we got Travis on there, so I think we go ahead and get him on.
Oh, I didn't even see him. What's up, Travis?
Hey guys, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good.
Good.
You are.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
How's the weather where you are?
Actually, it's not the greatest. It's barely above freezing. I'm here in Charlotte, and the weather kind of turned not so great. It was a nice weekend, but little chilly right now.
So, Travis, what are you going to be doing any racing this coming year, and see anything going on with you?
Um, I wish I could answer that easily, but I got the chance to race a few different cars over the last few years, and there's always little opportunities like that. So I'm really hopeful that I'll be racing at least a couple of times this year, like I have been the last few years. But nothing full time is set in stone, of course, right now, and just kind of getting the year started and seeing how things shake out. But I'm hopeful that I will be. I'm just really not sure what it would be yet, which kind of makes it, I guess, sort of exciting when things do come together every now and then. It seems like, but we'll just have to see.
So, what are you doing now? I mean, I've heard some things that you're working in the cup shop somewhere.
Yeah. I'm full time at Hendrick Motorsports. I started actually just over 2 years ago now, so entering my third season, and I work as a setup mechanic on a 48 team. So relatively straightforward job. Once the cars are assembled, there's basically three of us on each car that measure the suspension and start working on all the body and stuff, and then just kind of help the team once they get back from the race that they're at to finish the car and make all the changes that we would make before we actually load it up and it goes to the track, and then we do it all over again every week.
So, are you on the road with them and being
Nope,
part of
nope.
that?
I do get to go some, but my full time deal is in the shop, which has actually, really been kind of cool because I have gotten to go to some, and so that's really fun when you get to go. But it is a grueling schedule, so 38 of them is probably a little more than what I'm looking for, and it's allowed me, when I've gotten a few opportunities, it's allowed me to go racing on the weekends because I'm not at the track. Um, and I've even gotten to do some of the kind of at the shop during race day, during race time, from our war room, if you would call it that, and help the engineers just kind of keep track of everything and watch the race and try to support them however they might need. So my job's been really cool because I'm hired as a setup mechanic, but it gives me the freedom to go do some other stuff and kind of see how all these different roles work, and I've learned a ton. So it's been very cool.
I know you've been helping a lot of guys somewhere along the line in late models, where I think you've even crew chiefed a couple of cars along that line too. So, who all you been helping with, and are you looking to go into that mode sometime?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Time flies, and things change a lot. And a few years ago, I had built a late model, and I was crew chiefing that car, and I was crew chiefing a couple other drivers that had their own cars. Perry Patino, Jet Noland, Gavin Bochelle were some of the guys that we were working with there. And then, as I'm sure you know, around that time is when my fiance now, Jess, was diagnosed with breast cancer, and so I kind of took a step back from that. That was a big endeavor, and that was one of those deals where you're working a lot to try to make up for the fact that it's a startup, right? And it's the only way you can make ends meet is to do a lot of the work yourself, and that really wasn't feasible, and it wasn't what I wanted to be doing after we found out about her diagnosis. But so yeah, I got away from doing that. That was kind of my main gig at the time, and got away from that just due to those circumstances, and have since then, kind of worked on the side, and even in between there, I was going to the track and kind of coaching some drivers and spotting, and I've continued to, even after I was working on his car. I've gone to the track quite a bit over the last few years with Gavin Bochelle, who's now moved up to Donnie Wilson's super late model team, and looks to be starting off his year really strong down in New Smyrna this week. And I still every now and then do kind of go on the weekends and spot for different drivers and just kind of whatever's going on. I mean, I still do love to go. Um, I would rather never go, but besides to be a driver, but I still enjoy being at the racetrack. If that's all I'm doing that particular weekend, it's better than not.
Yeah, I mean, at least you're. I hope Jess is doing much better now, and everything's going good for her.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, and she's doing very well. Of course, it's a really traumatic thing for anyone that goes through it, and it's a long road, and it's something that you're always having to worry about to some extent, but she's doing very well, and I'll make sure I tell her you guys asked about her and said a nice word. So appreciate that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hope so everything's good, and maybe we'll get to see at some of these races sometime soon. I mean, I know you
Yep.
want to get out and be a part of that, so I know she's a part of it too.
Yeah. I mean, she, especially like when I'm just kind of spotting or something on a weekend when I'm not busy. She doesn't typically go. She's usually working on a Friday when I kind of leave, and it's kind of boring if she's not doing something at the track. But I know that because of that, it's kind of made her miss it even more because I'm out of town and she's just got nothing but time to sit there and realize that we're not full-time racing right now, which is what we both love to be doing. But I'm sure we'll be around some this year, and it was really cool. We went to the snowball this past year and ran the snowflake with Evan Shotco and Shotco Motorsports, and Jess was able to make it down for that for the last couple of nights. So yeah, man, it's a lot's been going on, but nothing is as steady as we would like, but it's been fun.
I tell you, the biggest thing I remember about you is that West Virginia car that you used to drive. I mean, that was a big hit for me. I love that thing, man. I know that was a big sponsorship, big deal for you.
Yeah. I do miss that car myself, and that was a really cool time. Going to school and I realized early on in that situation that for them to even trust and looking back to like trust a young college kid with your brand is really a huge risk. And looking back, I'm amazed that they supported me the way they did. But of course, growing up in West Virginia and having that car, I do miss it, and it's something that afterwards when I was moved on and racing for other teams, I still always wanted to find a way to bring that car back somehow. But you never know, maybe again someday.
Yeah, I mean, it was really a cool car, and that sponsorship had to be tremendous for you to be a part of that. So
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we don't have anything in the works right now, but hopefully you'll have something going on soon, huh?
Yeah. I mean, there's still a few little things that I've been in conversations with people about, and you just never know. I mean, I'm definitely hopeful to be at the very least some more short track races this year, and I'm still itching at all times to make my first NASCAR start. And when I say that, people are always like, "Wait a minute, you've never made a NASCAR start yet?" Because it seems like I have, even to myself. But it's something that I really want to check off one of these years, and not sure how to do it still. But one day we're gonna make it happen. So maybe this year will be the year.
Well, we're pulling for you. I know I'm pulling for you. So hopefully you'll get that done, and hopefully you'll have something soon, and we'll see you around there racing again.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
All right, Travis, we appreciate it. We'll get you back on here again when we find out you're racing again. So we get.
Yeah. Hey, that gives us a lot more to talk about. But I appreciate you having me on, and you guys take care and have a good rest of your show.
All right, you
See you,
too.
buddy.
We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, later, guys. See you.
All right.
No, how cool is that? That West Virginia car is pretty iconic in some ways, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think, gosh knows, I can't think of who it is. Somebody
I,
else
I,
has run it.
I don't know what Anthony Warren is trying to say there. He said something about, where's Justin Weathers?
I don't know who
That
that
must
is.
have been for,
That might have been for Travis. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know who that is. So anyway,
Yeah, I wonder how much he can take from the cup side. I mean, there's an awful lot of resources there to be able to, to put
Yeah.
towards your own program,
I agree.
Um,
I hope he can. I think he can. He's got some help there. He can acquire from a lot of people in that Hendrick Motorsports. So
absolutely.
anyway, all right, everybody, that's our show for tonight. I got a long drive home. How about you, Scott? You got a long drive home?
I mean, it's every bit of 18 minutes or so. I'm still at work.
So is it ice down your way yet? Have you looked out to see if it's icy?
Nah, Anthony said Justin spotted for Travis in the West Virginia car, and when he won the Derby. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Uh,
remember him winning the Derby. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a big deal.
Here it says, practice starts at 10 a.m. It'll be interesting who's on top of the chart. And so far as who's going to make it in and out, I don't remember who the list is of that's got to make it in. But
Jimmy Johnson.
honestly, they haven't ran that well. So
I know.
if I had to say one that's going to be out, he's definitely on the list of out to me.
Jimmy
BJ
Johnson,
McLeod, I
Justin
think he's
Allgaier.
huh? Okay, yeah. BJ McLeod, I think they're on the out list. Although he races well in those dual races.
Yeah, I mean, you might punch in the qualifying, but I think when they get into the duels on Thursday, it's going to be a big deal.
Oh, for sure. It'll definitely be
That's our show
interesting.
for tonight. All right, that's our show for tonight. Please like and share our show, and hopefully next week we'll see you back here next week. We're going to have Shane Laws is going to be with us next week. Matt Cox, the winner down at the Icebreaker in Florence, is going to be with us also, and we're going to have Hunter Thomas and have him talk about his career as a journalist in the sport, and we'll talk with him next week. And I think I got one more almost lined up too.
I know what's his website? Is it Kicking Tires? No, it ain't Kicking Tires. That's what's his name?
I was trying to. It's Fourth Turn, isn't it?
I don't know. I guess we'll find. I guess we'll.
Is what his.
I guess we'll find out next week, and we should be better friends than that.
Yeah, tell me about it. So anyway, we'll be back at Langley next week, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
All right, guys. See you next week.